Well, welcome in Space Coast Daily. We have a little bit of a breaking news item here from the Space Coast Daily TV studios that we came across our desk just a couple days ago. And a local man and a man very familiar with Space Coast Daily, Giles Malone, was visiting with family in England. And he has received national news, and then really the news has gone global after a very horrific discovery that he was a witness of on the bridge in England while he was visiting family. And what I'm going to have him do is just tell his story about what happened and hear it straight from the source. And we'll let Giles, I'll let you retell the story and what happened on your trip in England.
Yeah, hi Zach, and hello to everyone back on the Space Coast Daily. The news came to us on this one. Usually we go finding the news, but the news landed literally right at my feet on Wednesday night of this week. I'm in Bristol, England, by the way, and if you look behind me, staying in my brother's house here in Bristol, Keith and Jane Malone. Behind me is a really nice portrait of the Clifton Suspension Bridge, which is an iconic site here in England. It's a Grade A listed bridge, famous bridge built by Isambard Kingdom Brunel, 325 feet height in the middle, and it spans the Avon Gorge, which is an amazing sight, as you can see. So on Wednesday night, my father, Roger Malone, who lives maybe 1,000 feet from this bridge in his flat in Clifton, very nice area of Bristol, not a dangerous area. You wouldn't associate something like this. And we went to watch the soccer game, England versus Netherlands, with my dad. Had a great evening. England won the game, which we were very happy about. And we went down to the corner outside the house to pick up an Uber, take us back to Keith's house in outside of Bristol. And we went downstairs like you do. We're looking for the Uber on our phone as it's tracking towards us, and we're standing at a corner, a busy corner in Clifton, well lit, nice area, very expensive area of Bristol, beautiful Victorian homes, and we're standing on the corner, my wife and I, outside the Mall pub, which is a famous pub there, and we see, and we're paying attention to our car, to the car mostly, not really paying attention to walkers by and stuff, but two men really struggling with a suitcase coming across the road right towards us. And the road is we're only talking 30 feet or so to the other side of the road. It's a narrow street.
Yeah.
And they bring this suitcase over to us, and they're struggling with it. They almost drop it a couple of times in the road, and I almost went out to help them lift this case, because when I see people struggling with things, I often go out and help them, right? You go help someone, but something made me stop and not go and help them. I can't really say why, but they came across the street and they put this suitcase, which is, I describe it as a very gnarly looking case with zippers that were all the way expanded out, a large suitcase, kind of gray, but really tattered. And they put it right next to us on the sidewalk, right next to us.
Uh-huh.
And they leave and go back across the street. We didn't think anything of it. And they were, we thought they were coming to wait for a cab like other people on that corner. And then they came back across the street moments later with another man who's helping them and a woman who was also helping them. They were all 25 to 35. The man that seemed to be leading things was a black man, medium build. Turns out he's from Colombia, which I'll get to in a minute. But they put the second large trunk, this one was a trunk, right next to us on the sidewalk. And as they put them both down, I said to the two gents jokingly, I said, they look very heavy. What have you got in there, bodies? And not knowing that actually that was what was in these two suitcases. Come to find out, there were the human remains of two men in these two suitcases. And they were right by us on the sidewalk. And so as they were coming back with the second suitcase, the woman who was helping them said, "These are the heaviest suitcases I've ever lifted. I suppose there could be bodies in there." Turns out she was an innocent bystander who was helping them She happened to be walking the other side of the street. So our car came along to us about 15 minutes later. We were waiting there with these people because they were waiting for a taxi, come to find out. And we were waiting there, sort of nonchalantly waiting for our Uber. Eventually it comes, it pulls up in front of us. And I realized it's our Uber because, you know, we look at the registration license plate, matches what's on my phone. So I know it's our car. Stops right in front of us, big van actually. And they moved, or the guy with the suitcases moved towards our car like he wanted to get inside of it. And I said, hold on, this is our car. And he said, well, how do you know it's your car? I said, well, because right here, it's on my phone. So he sort of backed off and I slid the door open and we get in and we take off. And we really don't think any more about it. And the next day about lunchtime, we go down to same place, pick up my dad, Roger Malone, who lives there. And we put him in the car and I'm driving the car going to go across the bridge, which you see behind me. It's a bridge you can drive across. It costs £1 to go across, and it links Bristol and Clifton on the right to Somerset on the left. We're going up to a golf course up there to hit some golf balls with Dad. So we come up to the bridge. It's all closed. There's police everywhere, and it's all cordoned off, so we couldn't go across the bridge. So I said, "Oh no, the bridge is closed off. It's going to be a 20-minute journey to go down the Bristol Basin and up the other side." And Dad said, "Oh, I know why that's closed. There was national news. They found 2 suitcases on the bridge last night with body parts in it." And so, you know, we really were
What was
shocked
your
at that
initial
point.
reaction when you heard that? Like,
Yeah, we were just sort of, we said it can't be, surely, can't be those people from last night. And so we pulled over, and I told my dad what had happened because I hadn't told him at that point. And he said, "You better go up there and talk to the police." So we walked up to the police, told them what we saw, and they immediately knew that we had witnessed the situation because the suitcases matched the description perfectly of what they had found. And the suitcases were actually dragged. This man got the cab he was looking for and took the suitcases and he tried to go across the bridge. And somehow he ended up getting out of the cab on the bridge. He was dragging these things across the bridge and blood was seeping out. And the security guards came out of the guard shack and they sort of came towards him and he ran away. And the bicyclist chased him down on the other side of the bridge down into the woods and he disappeared.
huh?
And then the next day, which would have been Friday, the police tracked this guy down in London, which is 110 miles away. And they went into his apartment there and they found what turns out to be more remains of these 2 poor souls who were inside the suitcases.
Wow.
So it's kind of shocking. It's sickening. We're still finding it hard to believe that we were, right there. But we gave the police all the information. And then last night, they actually captured this guy at the train station in Bristol called Temple Meads. So
Okay.
they actually have that man in custody. He's a Colombian national. He's from Colombia.
Hmm.
And they have him in custody. And they're not looking for anyone else. So those 2 other people that were carrying the suitcases must have been innocent bystanders, kind of like we were.
Wow.
So, there it is. Just an incredible, sickening experience, really.
I I understand that when they were making this discovery, that they think the actual crime scene happened over like 100 miles away. Is that correct? That they actually think that they made it this far with these 2 suitcases and traveled across England.
That's right, Zach. The police have found out that they found this apartment in Shepherd's Bush, which is a district of London. They found this guy's apartment, and they went inside and they found the remains of these 2 men up there. And
Hmm.
so this man apparently had done terrible things to these 2 men, uh, chopped them up into pieces, put them in 2 suitcases, and traveled in a taxi down to Bristol for some unknown reason. And then for some unknown reason, he took another taxi across trying to get across the bridge to either drop them off the bridge 300 feet down into the water,
Mm.
or he was trying to take them across the bridge into Lee Woods, which is a big forest on the other side of the bridge. So just an incredible series of events, and the police, to their credit, have tracked him down. I mean, we gave them some vital information about this person taking a cab. You see, because if we hadn't told them about this person getting a cab, they might not have tracked him down that quickly, because they contacted all the cab companies and found out, which cab went across the bridge at midnight on Wednesday night.
Wow. Now
Yeah.
you're on a family visit, and you mentioned that you got done watching a soccer game, and you were in good spirits because England won. And I got to ask, how's your family taking it? How's Allison doing? Your wife and your dad and yourself, for that matter. I mean,
Yeah.
for being a part of
Yeah.
something so gruesome and having to be so close to that.
Yeah. We were obviously shocked. And what's interesting is, I'm so glad we didn't actually help carry the cases. That would have been even worse, to have held those cases with the
Hmm.
human remains inside. We didn't touch them. We were very, very close to them on the sidewalk for 15 minutes or so, but
Yeah. Yeah.
thankfully, and our hearts and prayers go out to the people, the family members, and of course those souls who were killed in this situation. And I'm sure that all this information is going to come out, but just an amazing scenario. The news came to us this time, Zach, which usually we go find the news, but it came right to our feet. Amazing.
I wish we were having a good video to talk about something really more lighthearted rather than something like this. But man, that's just amazing. And you mentioned that this story has gained global attention um, for everything that has been going on. I know you've had a couple interviews that you've conducted. Um, have you been able to get any sleep over this
No,
time?
yeah, I couldn't sleep the first night, and it's been pretty rough, but we're getting through it. Everyone's fine. Life has to go forward, and we're just praying for the people,
Yeah,
who have to deal with this now. But the police did an excellent job. Bristol's a fantastic place. I don't want people to get the wrong impression. It's one of the nicest cities in Great Britain, and just a very unusual situation. This was a Colombian national who lived in London, and for some reason, he's committed this heinous crime. And
yeah.
like I say, praying for the people killed and the families who are going to have to deal with this.
Well, Giles, we hope that the rest of your trip goes much better. And